Well, good evening, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this May 31st, 2023. I'm hoping everybody had a great Wednesday out there. Hope everybody continues to have a great Wednesday evening. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay. In today's video, we're going to talk about your forecast for Thursday and Friday. Also, we're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation. Also, we're going to take a look at the watches, warnings, and advisories. Also, we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook and overview, forecast, and a few other products they issue. And also, we're going to take a look at the National Hurricane Center tropical weather outlook for the next 48 hours. And also read their forecast discussion there as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get on into the forecast. But before we do that, if you're a new viewer, have not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Love to have you. Also, like these videos and share these videos. And now let's go ahead and dive on into the forecast and let's get the show on the road here, folks. Okay, here we go. We got a few shower and thunderstorms over portions of northern Maine. Also, we got shower and thunderstorm activity over portions of Virginia, down into North Carolina, even portions of South Carolina as well, just north of Atlanta, all the way back to portions of Missouri, Arkansas, back in Oklahoma, Texas, all the way back over into New Mexico, Nevada, also into, Colorado, back into Nevada, also into portions of Arizona, even California, also up into Idaho, also into southern Canada there as well. Back over to North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, all the way down to Illinois as well, in Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma area. We got some shower and thunderstorm activity down here around the Houston area, and also down in Mississippi, also down into portions of southeast Louisiana, back in southern Alabama, southern Georgia, Panhandle, Florida, and also down into the Florida Keys, as this area of low pressure just sits there and meanders over the Gulf of Mexico. We got high pressure dominate Montreal and Toronto, Canada, and also we got high pressure building in to portions of Maine, down in New Hampshire, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., back into Virginia, Kentucky, into portions of Indiana, portions of Michigan as well. Got some shower and thunderstorm activity on the west side of Michigan and around the Great Lakes region there as well. We got high pressure also in control of portions of South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, back toward the Dallas, Fort Worth area, down into southern Texas, Mexico, New Mexico, we're in Arizona, Southern California, also back in the portion of Oregon and Washington State, around the Vancouver, Canada area, and also over in central and southwestern portions of Canada as well. In the red slashed area here, we're portions of Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas, and also in the portion of New Mexico. Flash flooding is possible, and also more up here in portions of Wyoming, also into Montana as well. We have some mixed precipitation west of Denver, also portions of Idaho as well, and also up here in the portion of Wyoming and in the southern Montana, like I said, just west of Denver there, with some mixed precipitation there for your Thursday. Alrighty, here's your forecast for Friday. We got thunderstorms up here in portions of the northeast, around Maine, back to New Hampshire, into portions of New York, down toward New York and Boston. We got shower and thunderstorm activity down here in eastern North Carolina, down here in the low country of South Carolina, a little bit up here just north of Atlanta, in the mountains of western North Carolina and North Georgia, and then more extended down here in southeast Georgia, down in Florida, Florida Keys, back over towards portions of southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, as that low pressure still meanders in that vicinity. We have more shower and thunderstorm activity over here in Texas, all the way in the portion of Arkansas, Missouri, back in the Iowa, and also Wisconsin. Also into southern Canada, also back in Idaho, back into Utah as well, and portion of Colorado. Also into South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma as well. In the yellow slashed area, there may be some severe weather possible in that region. Some flash flooding possible over here in portions of Texas, back in the Kansas. Also some mixed precipitation over here in just west of Denver. Also some mixed precipitation in portions of Utah and also into Wyoming. We have some more flash flooding possible over portions of Wyoming into Montana as well. Also, we got well above normal temperatures expected over this region here as well. And we got high pressure dominating Montreal, down to Toronto, Canada, Michigan, down into Chicago, Illinois, all the way down into Arkansas, portion of all the way down to Houston, Texas, also in the portion of Mississippi, Alabama, much of South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, Ohio as well. Dry conditions there expected. Dry conditions expected over portions of North and South Dakota as well. Down here in Mexico, West Texas, down into New Mexico as well. Mexico State. Also down in Arizona, California, Nevada, Oregon, also in the Washington State, Vancouver, Canada, Southern Canada. Looks dry as well for your Friday. All right, let's move on to the weather radar across the nation. It's slowly coming up, folks. Okay, here we go. Alright, we got dry conditions over southeast Canada, Maine, all the way back in the portion of Ohio and Pennsylvania, and also into Virginia. Got a little bit of scattered activity off the mid-Atlantic coast. A little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity over a portion of West Virginia. Also, we got more scattered activity over North Carolina, South Carolina, all the way down into portions of Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Mississippi, even down here in South Texas. There's that low pressure system spinning down in the Gulf of Mexico, producing shower and thunderstorms over southern Mississippi, Georgia, Florida. And activity over portion of Oklahoma back into Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, back into portion of Indiana, Illinois, portion of Michigan, southern Canada as well. Also up here in the portions of Iowa and also into Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota. Over here towards Montana, also Idaho, back into California, Nevada, Utah. Also over here in portions of Colorado, New Mexico, and northern Texas and Oklahoma. There's a little bit of snow maybe mixing in southwestern portions of Colorado there. So maybe a little rain-snow mixture there. Down here around the Hawaiian chain island, got a few scattered showers and maybe a thunderstorm around the central and southern portion of the island. North portion looks a-okay. Few scattered showers on the south side of Alaska and a little bit offshore there in the coastal waters there of Alaska. Guam radar is still currently unavailable. All right. Let me click this here real quick. We're gonna go to the watches warning on here, folks. I'm sorry about that, but we're gonna get to it. And everything else is set up correctly. Okay, here we go. We got air quality alerts over portion of Pennsylvania, up in the portion of Connecticut, down into portion of Washington, D.C. area. Also, we got more air quality alerts over here in portion of northeast Ohio, southern Michigan, western Michigan, also over here in portions of Wisconsin as well. Down here in eastern Missouri and also western Illinois, southeast Louisiana. Also over here in northeast Texas and southeast Texas with some air quality alerts there as well. Flood watches in effect for portions of South Florida. Got a flood advisory for portions of southwest Georgia. Flash flood watch in effect for northwestern portions of Mississippi. We got flood advisories over portion of Missouri, and also got one over here in portion of Oklahoma. Got a severe thunderstorm warning there as well. We got a hydro issue there for, I think, for an area river there in portions of Kansas. Also, we got them river flood warnings still going on in effect for portions of North and South Dakota. Got a severe thunderstorm warning right here in portions of Minnesota. Special weather statements for northeastern portions of Wisconsin and around the Michigan area for low relative humidity and also some smoke in the air from a wildfire there in portions of Canada. We have some special weather statements and severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for portions of Colorado as well. We got some flash flood watches and few flood advisories over here in portions of Texas and also in New Mexico. Severe thunderstorm watches in effect for portions of West Texas and also southeastern and eastern portions of New Mexico. Fire weather watches, red flag warnings, red flag warnings are in effect for southwestern portions of New Mexico. A few severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warning also in effect there as well in portions of New Mexico. Special weather statements over here in portions of Nevada and also into California. Got a couple severe thunderstorm warnings also for southern Idaho as well. Got some river flood warnings also in effect for Nevada in Idaho. We've got some flood watches in effect there too in southeast Idaho. Also got one county over here in western Montana, and also some flash flood watches in effect with northern portion of Wyoming into central Montana. We've got some hydro issues over here in portion of Montana as well. And over here in Alaska, we got some special weather statement for you guys and a few flood advisories there, and some freeze and spray advisories for northwestern portion of Alaska, and the Hawaiian chain island looks a-okay. Alrighty, now we're going to move on to the Storm Prediction Center overview. As you can see, there's that scattered activity over North Carolina, South Carolina, down here in the Florida, Cuba, and the Bahamas. Also back in the Mississippi, Alabama, portions of Wisconsin, Michigan. Also back over here in portions of southern Canada, back into the upper Midwest, Rocky Mountains in the Midwest there. Marginal risk for severe weather in portions of Texas all the way to South Dakota. A little bit over here in portion of Minnesota there. Minnesota and northern Iowa. You can see a little bit better on the forecast map here. Got a marginal risk there. Got a slight risk over portion of Texas and eastern New Mexico. That marginal risk up here in portion of Iowa and into portion of Minnesota and southeastern North Dakota. General thunderstorm elsewhere in the lighter greens. The severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for West Texas, Northwest, Western Texas, and Northwestern Texas. Also over here in eastern portion of New Mexico. Also the MDS discussion. There's one portion of Colorado and the portion of Kansas and also South Dakota and eastern Wyoming. This is here is a watch unlikely, but there could be some severe thunderstorm produced, maybe a damaging wind gust or some large hail possible. Also, the storm report for today, currently as of this recording, we have 0 tornado reports, so that's good news. Wind report was 11. High wind report was 0. Hail report was 21. One was large, so that made the total number to 32 as of this current recording. The numbers will increase as we head through the afternoon and evening, so I would not be surprised it may get on upward to in the 40s or maybe into the 50s. So like the wind report was generally over portion of northern Illinois, southern portion of Missouri, northern Texas, western Oklahoma, also over here in northern portion of Colorado, western Colorado, also in the portion of eastern portion of South Dakota. We have some hail reports. New Mexico as well, eastern central New Mexico, northern portions of Colorado, also over here in western portions of South Dakota, and also again over here in portions of Wisconsin as well, with some hail reports there as outlook. We have a elevated risk for today over a portion of Arizona back into New Mexico. We also have some critical fire weather issues back over here as well in New Mexico. So anybody over here, a wildfire can take off real quickly with little to no stenching at all. It can take off and burn up anything in its path there. So just be on the lookout if you're in Arizona or New Mexico, because these fire weather issues, that's why we issue these fire weather issues, because like I said, these wildfires can escape quickly and out of control and rage on and on and on for a long time. Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up with the National Hurricane Center page. We're going to take a look at the tropics in the Atlantic. This is that system down here in the Gulf of Mexico. This was the 2 p.m. advisory update in the northern portion, northeastern portion of the Gulf of Mexico. An area of low pressure has formed over the northeast Gulf of Mexico and associated with a disorganized shower and thunderstorm displacement to its northeast. Environmental conditions appear marginally favorable for slow development over the next day or so. Well, next day or two, as the system meanders over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. However, By this weekend, environmental conditions are forecast to become unfavorable for additional development as this system drifts southeast toward the Florida Peninsula. Regardless of development, this system can produce heavy rainfall that is, and gusty winds over portions of the Florida Peninsula through the weekend. Additional information on the rainfall and flooding potential can be found in products issued by your local National Weather Service office and the rainfall outlook issued by the Weather Prediction Center. Formation chance through 48 hours is low, 20%. Formation chance through 7 days is low at 20%. Alrighty. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well. Also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, and we'll catch you back in the next one. And also consider subscribing. Love to have you. Take care, everyone. We'll see you in the next video.